are able to kind of clamp down because of, what's happening right now. The Boston Police Department is walling off the area. They're raising the security not only around where the explosions happened, but elsewhere. So now it'll be much more difficult if they were trying to carry out another attack to do so. So therefore, you do them in quick succession, but sometimes you don't do them precisely at the exact same moment, in part because you might want to draw in individuals to get a higher body count. Again, I have no idea if that is the motivation of the individuals here, but it's something that we've seen in the past.
And let me ask you this question, Peter. Also, we heard from one of our reporters, Kathy Curran, who said that many of the off-duty officers are being called into this area. All the police are being routed down to this area. The SWAT teams down to this area. The bomb squads down to this area. All the first responders in this area. What concern is there if your possible theory holds out that there could be something else going on elsewhere? What does that mean?
Well, to some degree, number one, I think that they're doing exactly what they should, calling in first responders, individuals to take care of all of the wounded, who are by far the most important issue right now, and then calling in others to make sure the area is secure and there isn't any other type of explosion. If there is, there aren't a large numbers of people around. I think the chances of another explosion are quite low, but nonetheless, the chances of having this explosion in the first place were quite low. I think some of it depends on, again, speculating, but if there were attackers who were doing this, there's different types of people who might commit this type of attack. You could have individuals who have been trained and are part of an organization, or you could have what we refer to in the kind of academic lexicon as lone wolves, or individuals who are perhaps very, very motivated to carry out an attack like this, but aren't necessarily trained or haven't necessarily perhaps gone overseas to be able to get training to do this type of thing. So if that's the case, oftentimes those individuals fail because they're not able to actually access explosives, build a bomb, carry these types of things out. In this case, if it did happen, it might be someone who got lucky or is able to do so. If that's the case, that's why individuals can sometimes slip through the nets of the local police and FBI. But truth be told, there definitely will be on their trail, hopefully in short order.
Hey, Peter, our reporter Rondella Richardson, who's at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, says when the families, this is Rondella's reporting, when families of the victims arrived here, they are being patted down to make sure that they don't have anything dangerous on them before they are allowed into the hospital.
Yeah, look, thankfully in Boston, we're very lucky. We haven't had large numbers of terrorist attacks in the state. The number of attacks even have occurred is very low. Number of people killed very low. So I think in some cases, a lot of people, even the first responders who are trained to deal with this, are probably somewhat in shock. I know that I am, and I study this stuff all the time. Just to have something like this happen in Boston, that there's potential there. Some of the 9/11 hijackers came through here, but nonetheless, I think that right now people are exercising kind of an inordinate amount of caution. Just try to prevent anything else bad from happening.
We're talking obviously sort of worst case scenario possibilities here of a terrorism attack. Let's go the opposite direction of some kids who just possibly threw something into garbage cans.
Yep.
How realistic is that, Peter, under the circumstances of these two explosions within 10 to 15 seconds apart?
I think it's absolutely a possibility. I think that one of the keys would be to kind of know how powerful the explosions were. I've just seen, the live images on TV, the way that you guys have replayed over. To me, it looks like a decent-sized explosion. Could be at least something like a pipe bomb, which, even though it's not necessarily a large amount of explosive material, can cause quite a bit of damage. I saw some report that said someone might have tossed into a trash can. Again, what that can do is it can turn, the metal around the can into kind of projectiles that can wound large numbers of people, which could explain lots of the blood that was there, although that could be from the explosive as well. I think it's definitely possible, and to be honest, I have no inside information here. I'm sure that the police and FBI are working incredibly hard right now to